Jack Kerouac and Neal Cassady share the same lust for adventure and being on the road, but their very different upbringings influence their personalities and their opinions. In Kerouac's On the Road, the narrator Sal tries to mimic the lifestyle of Dean Moriarty, whether it be his prose-like way of speaking or way with women. Dean operates on what psychologists call the pleasure principle, always going to maniacal, helpless extremes. Sal would like to be as carefree as Dean, but struggles with morality. This is not only due to the drastic difference in their upbringing, but it should also be taken into account their different personalities. Their contrasting viewpoints and actions throughout the novel can be better understood with background on theories of psychologists such as Piaget and Erik Erikson, and an in-depth look at the lives of Jack Kerouac and Neal Cassady and the actions of Dean and Sal throughout the novel On the Road. Since Cassady's mother died at such a young age, he had no real influential experience with women growing up, and his father, who became an alcoholic bum, failed to provide adequate care for young Neal. Piagetian theory states that a child will form schemas, which are just similar environments, in their minds, and either assimilate, fit in with the old schema, or accommodate, slightly change to fit the new schema. It appears as though Dean's character throughout the novel took his childhood experiences and assimilated them with his life. In On the Road, Sal notes that Dean had very few memories of his mother, and every new girl, every new wife, every new child was an addition to his bleak impoverishment. It's true that Sal holds Dean on a pedestal for most of the novel, but it is in this passage that Sal begins to see the real sadness in Dean's life. Because his mother died when he's so young, he never knew what it was like to have a loving mother. Therefore, he searches for maternal satisfaction in every woman he encounters. Neal Cassady also felt abandoned by his father, whom the novel claims became a bum out west. Neal's character Dean forms a close bond with Sal throughout On the Road because Neal Cassady was the closest thing Kerouac had to a brother. Jack Kerouac was raised by a deeply religious, working-class French-Canadian family. At 4 years old, tragedy struck the young Kerouac's family when his brother Gerard died at 9 years old. Gerard was often referred to as a little saint, and Kerouac remembered Gerard in this way through stories his mother and other family members told him. Gerard died before young Kerouac was old enough to begin forming his identity. According to the theory of psychologist Erik Erikson, Kerouac grew up feeling inadequate to Gerard. Erik Erikson believed the most important aspect of childhood was forming an identity, and the child experiences stages from birth to adolescence during which they form that identity. In Erikson's locomotor stage, roughly ages 3 through 6, there is a fork in the road where the child follows a path of initiative or guilt. If they are successful in this stage, the child learns assertiveness and takes initiative, and if they are unsuccessful, a sense of guilt develops. When Gerard died, Kerouac was 4 years old, creating a sense of guilt that he would never measure up to his saint of a brother, which he once admitted in a letter, stating, "I have been subconsciously punishing myself and failing at everything." He may have even felt some unconscious guilt that he survived instead of Gerard. The locomotor stage is the beginning of the crucial stages to forming an identity that will help the child achieve self-actualization in the future, which is why Kerouac carried the guilt after Gerard's death into his childhood. When Sal meets Dean in On the Road, he seems to carry a certain holiness or saintliness about him that draws Sal in because Neal reminded Kerouac of his brother. Before departing for Mexico, Sal envisions Dean as a burning, shuddering, frightful angel, and Kerouac calls him a holy goof on page 190. Jack Kerouac was raised in a Roman Catholic household, and his religion conflicted with the lifestyle he led. Throughout the novel, Sal and Dean drink, do drugs, visit brothels, throw crazy parties, and live as carefree of a life as they can. Those who wrote, drank, and screwed everything with a pulse, such as Neal Cassady, were heroes. The Roman Catholic faith does not encourage partaking in these activities, and Kerouac followed Neal on the road for 3 years. Though some of his choices may not depict how devoutly religious Kerouac was, it is still evident in his writing and in various biographical sources. One might wonder how a man who valued morality engaged in so many activities deemed immoral by the church, another reason Kerouac was so psychologically conflicted. At first read, Sal and Dean seem to be incredibly complex characters that do unexpected, irrational things, but their actions and emotions are not as complex as they appear, with some background in psychology. Kerouac and Cassady's very different upbringings influence their lives permanently, and it is apparent in On the Road. Dean searches for love from every woman he meets because Neal Cassady never felt his mother's love, and then abandons them and his children as his own father abandoned him. Sal follows and admires Dean because he seems to represent the brother Kerouac lost at a young age, and Sal strives to be like Dean, as Kerouac strived to be Gerard.